What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 89. We start today's episode off on the back of our win over Osasuna. We'll look at our fixture in November. 5 games coming, 3 in the league, including that big one at the new camp, our final game against Barcelona this month. That's going to be absolutely huge right now, with us neck and neck with the Catalan Giants. And of course, we've also got Liverpool and also Victoria Poulsen in match days 4 and 5 in the Champions League. And of course, I actually got it wrong. I said that our Sporting Lisbon game was going to be match day 5 instead. It's actually Liverpool. So that will mean heading into this game here, if we could beat Victoria Poulsen after we beat them in a reverse fixture, and Liverpool would beat Sporting in the fixture getting played at the same time, then both us and Klopp's side would qualify for the knockout stage of the Champions League. So heading into the game against Czech Republic side, once again, fielded a really strong team. I said when the groups are drawn, it wasn't going to be an easy group, but the bonus of possibly qualifying with 2 games to spare. You know, I talk about this quite a lot, you know, like when you go into a European group, be it the Champions League, the Europa League, or now the Europa Conference League, like, my tip is always the same. Get off to a good start. And I know it sounds really, really obvious, but when you are playing in Europe, the chances are, whilst most leagues now do have a winter break, but the chances are late November and early December, when match days 5 and match day 6 typically occur, they're going to be surrounded by, you know, other fixtures and some important fixtures. For example, our Barcelona games, the biggest game in the domestic season so far, that comes a few days after Liverpool in the Champions League group stage on match day 5. That's a massive game right there, following on from another massive game as well. So I know it sounds really obvious, but if you can qualify knowing that with a game, or possibly, if you're really lucky, then 2 games are still to go, it means that, yeah, of course, you know, if top spot's still up for grabs, then you'll probably want to field a really strong side. But just knowing that the bare minimum, which is qualification, the lowest you can finish being second place, is in the bag, means you can rotate players, rest players, and not be as nervous heading into the game, knowing that your job's already done. Top spot might be on the line, of course, and that is important too, but it's the bare minimum already being done of you in the first 3 or 4 games, or 4 or 5 games, I should say. So that will mean hence the game against Poulsen. I thought, right, just don't slip up here. 1 in the Czech Republic, reasonably comfortably. Don't slip up here. Poulsen, no points on the board so far. Should be a routine victory, and it was as well. Sevelos in the first half opened the scoring, and Sanchez got a second, and then Simeone off the bench, stepson Simeone makes it 3-0, and that would wrap it up. So yeah, comfortable victory away in the Czech Republic and at home to Poulsen, and they remain bottom of the group with 0 points. No disrespect, when the groups were drawn, I did think this was the most likely outcome. Us, Liverpool and Sporting battling for the top 2, and Poulsen unfortunately ended up with a win the spoon. That's going to be the case now, and as you can see, after Liverpool did indeed beat Sporting at Anfield by 3 goals to 1. There it is, right there, 2 games to go, and we are both 7 points clear of Sporting, which means that the Portuguese side, even if they beat us and Poulsen as well, they still won't be able to topple us and finish in second. So yeah, qualification in the bag with 2 games to spare. Now it comes down to who gets top spot. The winner of the game against Liverpool at the Metropolitano will get top spot. If it's a draw, then we'll have the same head-to-head record, and it all depends what happens on match day 6. Liverpool will be favourites, of course, because they've got Pools and we've got Sporting. But even so, it's good to know the job is done. That's going to put a lot less pressure on that Barcelona game, and for the Liverpool game before the Barcelona one. And heading into the second game here, this was Getafe away. Now, it's funny, but like, obviously, if you watch my career modes this year, you'll know there are a couple of teams that I've really struggled against. I don't just mean the big teams, but in my Bundesliga career mode, I really struggled against Augsburg. They were a real thorn in my side. In my La Liga career mode with Granada, you saw me get sick of Mallorca, but also Getafe. I found them quite a tough team to play against as well. So heading into the game, you know, those sort of like psychological games where you're thinking, I'm a little bit nervy here, you know, I'm on great form, I'm a little bit nervy here. How are we going to respond? Well, starting the game off, they had the first couple of chances. Oblak made a couple of really good saves, and then 18 minutes in, if you read the title, this was the moment you were waiting for. God, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've been able to do this. Here it is, the goalkeeper assist. Jan Oblak catches the corner, and the wily old Slovenian quickly kicks it long, picks out João Felix. Great first touch by Felix, to be fair, and goes all the way and smacks it home. Yep, a goalkeeper assist. I can't remember the last time I had one. I really can't. It's been a long time, but Felix gets our first with an Oblak assist, and then for the second goal, the heavens just totally opened up here for my number 7, man, seriously. This is the importance of good off-the-ball movement, and, you know, again, if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know I used to absolutely lay into EA for stationary off-the-ball movement from your teammates. It has definitely improved massively over the past few years, and I'll always give credit to EA where credit is due. A few years ago, you know, you go back to like FIFA 15, FIFA 16, off-the-ball movement was tragic, absolutely tragic, and now it's so much better. Players time their runs much better. They're way more intelligent. They understand the importance of dragging defenders away. Like Sevelos did for that second goal there. If you don't know what I'm talking about here, if you watch that second goal again on the replay, I showed it for you. Sevelos drags the last defender out with him, because if he doesn't, then Felix can roll him through and Eduardo's through one-on-one. Instead, the covering defender goes with Sevelos. That opens the space for Felix, who makes it 2-0. That's the importance of off-the-ball movement. And, you know, I have mentioned as well, like if you're not taking advantage of the fact that now you can angle your players' runs, you've got to do it. It's a really great way of making space for yourself with your teammates dragging defenders away. As Fernandez is coming back from injury here, great to see on the back of a 3-0 victory. So if you're on PlayStation, if you press the L1 button, that's the signal for a player to run forward. But if you flick the stick, you can then angle your player to run a certain direction. Now, you can't curve runs. I'd absolutely love to be able to do that. Possibly a future feature for EA. It might be quite tricky to implement, really, but I'd love to be able to curve runs so you can sort of like, you know, do a semicircle with the right stick after pressing L1, and the player can curve a run and angle it in behind a defender. That would be great. At the moment, players can only run in like one direction, if that makes sense, and they can't really adjust their runs unless you do another L1 in the right stick midway through their run. But it's a really crucial feature. You probably see me do it a few times as well. It's a great way to open up space, and it's definitely one of my big tips as well. When you are running on the counter, and let's say you've got like a 2-on-2 or a 2-on-3 situation, you've got that man with you who's in support with the player that you're carrying the ball with. You know, obviously if you're going to try and play the ball through to him, then you might want to find some space through the middle, but oftentimes what you'll notice is I try and angle my players' runs to actually go to the flanks, you know, to get out of the way, clear a bit of space, and let me go myself, you know. So yeah, it's a really good tip, I would say. If you're running again 2-on-2 or a 2-on-3 on a counter attack, angling players' runs, not always to play the ball through to them, but to use them as decoy runners so you can find a little bit of space for your ball carrier. Anyway, on the back of the 3-0 win against Getafe, yep, Fernandez coming back to fitness, great to see it. Of course, we're missing him and Modric's regen through long-term injuries. We know that Modric's regen won't come back until around April, May time, but great to see Fernandez coming back. But for the third and final game of today's episode, well, I was referencing my La Liga career mode early with Granada. It was a really fun save, taking them on for the first time with Atletico. They've had a great start to the season, Granada, not needing my help, and interestingly enough, their whole team is completely different to the Granada team that I was using back in my save earlier this year. But facing them here at home, we took the lead through Felix, but Granada's Shaparenko scored twice, and the second an absolute thunderbolt to give them a shock lead at the Metropolitano heading into the break. We were down by a goal, and I was thinking, it's alright, it's okay, you know, we come back from behind before, we can do it once again, but Granada was so good on the offensive end. I was getting chances, not really taking them, other than a Felix goal, and then 6 minutes after the restart, the second half, the start to a second half, so crucial, man. When you're trailing the game by a goal, I often talk about it, one goal early in the second half can totally change the complexion of a game. If the trailing team gets it, they draw level, momentum's with them. If they concede it, then it's a cushion for the team that are leading, and they can now control the game. We're 3-1 down, and that looked as though that might be it for me, and our first loss in the Metropolitano this season. We weren't going to give up. 57 minutes, we got a corner, whipped into the middle, and Tommy Yasu, the former gunner, heads home. It's 3-2, and I kept on attacking Granada. My defense, weak as it has been for most of this FIFA year, but my goal-scoring ability is still really high. 64 minutes in, a chance to make it 3-3. It's brilliant link-up play between João Felix and my stepson, Simeone, my stepson, Guiliano. Daddy's gone, but listen, I still love you. Makes it 3-3. We come back from 2 goals down to level it, and then in stoppage time, we have a goal kick. Oblak waves the team forward, launch it as long as he can. Felix nods down to Marquez, rolls him through, gets round Godfrey and smacks it in. João Felix wins it with the final kick of the game. Man, oh man, what did we see last week in the Champions League of Atletico? There were 3 goals in that stoppage time game. Unbelievable when they won it 2-1 courtesy of Griezmann. I think it was the 90-10th, is that right? 90-10th, 90-11th, 90 plus 10 plus 11th minute when Griezmann struck to win it with the final kick of the game. Talk about deja vu. We come back from 3-1 down to win it 4-3. João Felix with the final kick of the game as we win it by 4-3. That was brilliant, without a shadow, without game of the season so far of Atletico Madrid. And you know, Atletico Madrid and late goals, man, so common again. We saw it last week in the Champions League, just as dramatic here as we come from 3-1 down to win it 4-3. And it's been an episode today where I keep on feeling like I'm repeating myself, things I've said throughout the FIFA year. But guys, I've said it many times and I'll say it again. This is why you never, ever give up in a game and you keep on fighting. Goals, momentum, I should say, so comeback. FIFA games nowadays, massive goal gluts, as we know. Defense is very fragile, momentum very overpowered, and we also know the late goals are really common. 3-1 down to win it 4-3 in stoppage time. Never give up. Proof in the pudding right there. But that will in today's episode of the Realistic Summer Career, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, just like. Most love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I will see you for the next episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode very soon.